Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. This is going to be your trading watch list for the 14th of March, Thursday. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the news that came out after the bell tonight, courtesy of the Trade Exchange News Service. We had some earnings come out after the bell. NOW Now was upgraded at Mizuho, initiated a buy. Also, Salesforce got an upgrade from Mizuho. They give a buy to that also on Salesforce CRM. We had some earnings, MDB, earnings per share. Miss revenue beat on MDB. Earnings per share adjusted a beat. So it was a beat on MDB software application stock. Big strong move here up in the after hours. We had Domo, also a software application stock, pushing higher in the after hours tonight. Earnings per share revenue beat there. CLDR also in that space, software application space. Earnings per share miss, revenue beat. Market didn't like that, pushing that one down in the after hours currently on CLDR, Cloudera. Let's go ahead and look at some other stocks that had earnings after the bell. We had TLRD, that stock getting hit in after hours. Earnings per share beat by 1 cent, but a revenue miss on TLRD. SMTC, earnings per share and revenue beat. SMTC, that stock moving down in the after hours currently. Let's see. Schlumberger announces debt exchange. We had AXAS, earnings per share miss, revenue beat on AXAS. That stock ticking down a little bit in the after hours. AXGT announces public offering. So AX. GT. That stock selling off a bit in the after hours tonight, after the bell tonight. Some syndicate news that came out after the bell. EGAN proposed public offering. GLBS announces 5 million convertible debt private placement. That's a shipper. MUX terminates equity distribution agreement. HTGM filed Form 8K, entered into a sales agreement with Cowen and Company. So HTGM, we'll check that one out. Selling off a bit in the after hours tonight. And that news courtesy of the Trade Exchange News Service. We'll go ahead and look at our heat map for today, courtesy of FinViz. So the markets, the Dow Jones, even with the issues with Boeing, the market moved above technical resistance. Despite Boeing, Dow Jones 30 was up 148 points today. The S&P 500 was up 19. The Nasdaq up another 52 on the day. So you see here across the board, mostly green. Home Depot stands out, down almost 1.5 or down 1.5% today. Letter T down today. AT&T down 1% on the day. So a few stocks down. Disney selling a bit, about 0.5% down. But across the board, pretty much mostly green on your screens here. Microsoft had a good day. Amazon was up today. Facebook, even with the outages, was up almost 1% on the day. Bank America had a very strong day today, up 1% on the day for Bank America there. And this courtesy of FinViz. Boeing U.S. News today, they're grounding the 737 and the 739s are being grounded. Also in Canada, that's about 331 of the planes are grounded, Boeing planes. In market cap, it has cost Boeing about $30 billion in market cap losses thus far. Also, another top story today, Nelson Peltz getting involved in the cannabis business, ACB, Aurora Cannabis. So that was moving that stock up today. Billionaire Nelson Peltz is joining Aurora Cannabis as strategic advisor, and we actually traded that one in the service today. I'll show you that in a bit. So Boeing and ACB were some of your top stories for today. The Fear and Greed Index, courtesy of CNN Business, Fear and Greed. So we're currently at 60. We were up, last time I looked at this, we were at 72. We pulled back to about that 50 area, and now we're back up to 60. So so kind of staying in the middle of the range right now on the fear and greed index. The calendar of events for tomorrow, courtesy of the Trade Exchange News Service. For tonight, just be aware that we do have some China numbers coming out. Industrial production comes out about 10 o'clock from China. Also, their retail sales will be out for tonight in the overnight session. So we'll have to check the futures tonight around 10 p.m. Eastern Time to see the reaction to those China numbers. As far as economic information, pretty straightforward for tomorrow. You have the Nat Gas numbers, UNG, the ETF there coming out tomorrow on Thursday. As far as earnings, a little more action tomorrow. You get Dollar General tomorrow, DG. After the bell Thursday, you get HERE, HEAR, which is Turtle Beach, Adobe, Broadcom, AVGO, Ulta, ULTA, and also Oracle, all out after the bell on Thursday. Some of your stocks that had unusual call activity, as you can imagine, Aurora Cannabis, ACB, had unusual call activity today. Baidu had unusual call activity. XLF, APC, TTWO in the gaming, video gaming sector had unusual call activity. HBI, Hanes Brands, also under call with call activity there. SYMC, Macy's, DVA, Twitter, MGNX, all with unusual call activity today. So that courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Wanted to show you a chart of Boeing in a trade that we did in the service today. So here was Boeing on Monday when that news first started to hit and that plane crash. So Boeing came down to about this 365 area, and then you see the bounce that it did in Boeing. Well, today Boeing broke down. They took out the stops of that 365. We were watching it. As it came back up through 365, 366 area, we jumped in this stock, and we got about 3 points out of this play. Some folks got about 4 points out of Boeing. But if you notice here, it pays to line your charts here, watch the action. This is a 5-minute chart. This was the action Monday. They came down, they held here, they pushed it back up. They made several attempts to get it down to that area, but we made higher lows. Today, they broke those stops today. We were watching it as the news was coming out that the U.S. was going to ground those planes, the 737s, and they broke the stops here. They turned it back up and gave us a nice 3-point play here on Boeing. Let's go ahead and look at some of our top sectors today. We had gold up today, up about 3%. JNUG made a nice move up 3%. Oil was up 2.5%. Oil itself, the closing price today, $58.26, so getting up over that $58 a barrel on the closing price for light sweet crude oil. The OIH was up over 1.5% for the day. To the downside today, the VIX, some steam coming out of the markets, down about 2.5%. KWEB, the China Internet ETF, was down about 1% on the day. The IBB had a very nice day today. The IBB was up 1.31% for the day, holding above the 200 SMA now, getting back above the 10 SMA on our daily chart. Let's check some of our S&P sector performance for the day. To the upside, we had the XOP, which is the oil exploration index, up 2% for the day. The airlines, even with all the excitement in Boeing, were up 2% on the day. The XBI was almost up 2% on the day, so that is also back above the 10 SMA, the 200 SMA, and the fast-moving averages here. So the XBI very strong. To the downside, we had the XHB, which is the home builders, down fractionally for the day. Over here in the Dow, the top stock was UNH. The healthcare sector was getting some buying today. UNH, the top stock in the Dow. Over in the S&P 500, let's see, to the upside, we had TTWO was up about 7% on the day. That was your top stock in the S&P 500. To the downside, we had Discovery Channel was down about 5% today. in that sector, the S&P 500. The NASDAQ 100, let's see, MELI was up about 5%. NVIDIA was up about almost 4% on the day. To the downside in the NASDAQ 100, we had REGN down about 2% on the day. MCHP down about 1.5%. My list of stocks, Roku took a hit today. Roku got downgraded today. Twice actually, and we got down here on Roku, down 14% on Roku. SFIX, after the big run up yesterday, gave up about 7% on the day for Stitch Fix. To the upside, ACB was the big winner, up 14%, followed by Cara that had earnings yesterday. That was up 12% on the day. WLL up 8% on the day. Whiting Petroleum Corporation. Let's take a look at that chart. Coming up off the bottom for WLL. So maybe some oil plays will be on watch for tomorrow. I think I have a few on my watch list for tomorrow. Some of your top low float gainers today, you had AWX up almost 22% on the day. RAVE, RAVE, up 19% on the day. SOLY was jumping 19% on the day. FSI was up almost 19% on the day. And as you can see here, a few more up about 12, 14% on the day. If you want to see those stocks, you can pause the video right here and check those out. To the downside, GV was down about 7% on the day. So that's some of your low float top gainers for the day. Let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY on the daily chart today. Kind of a topping candle here. A little bit of buying exhaustion came into the market today. Now, we were down for about 3 or 4 days in a row. We bounced about 4 days in a row, came back up to this resistance supply area. So folks, taking a little bit off the table here as we got a little toppy and a nice rebound in the SPY. So maybe tomorrow, kind of a consolidation day. We'll see if we're going to hold above the bottom of this candle, or are they going to push us up higher for tomorrow on the SPY. One other market we'll look at is the IWM. Still remains below the 200 SMA. Did move up for 3 days in a row, but we're still underneath the red moving average here, underneath the 20 SMA on the IWM. The IWC currently also below the 20 SMA and still remains below the 200 SMA on the micro caps, the IWC. Here's your intraday chart of the SPY. So at the open, they pushed us higher. We came up to about 282.50 on the SPY. That was your high today. We pulled back from there, but overall, we held above VWAP for most of the day. The green line you see here in the after hours tonight, they're pushing us a little bit higher in the SPY, but we still remain below that 282.50 area. We are above the 5 EMA. We're above the 10 SMA. We're above the 20 SMA. So some areas to watch tomorrow. Looks around that 281 area was where they came in and dip bought us today. So we'll see if that area wants to hold for tomorrow, 281. If we do break that 281, maybe 280.50 comes into play, and then 280 after that for possible support zones on the SPY. But right now, 282.50, that's your spot to watch for resistance on the SPY. All right, let's go ahead and get into that watch list for tomorrow. So ACD in the biotech sector will be on watch. We had a high today on ACAD. The high was 27.44. We closed at 27.38. We have a recent high on ACD at 27.70. So keep an eye on this one if you can take out 27.65 area on ACD for possible continuation move in that name. ACB will be on watch. Now, ACB is grinding higher, and we actually got a trade in this name in the after hours tonight on ACB. I told everybody Keep your eye on AKTX. Could be a mover in after hours. ACB might also have action in the after hours. And let me get this out of your way. And as you can see, ACB is climbing up after hours. I took some on the break of $9 here, moving up to $9.24. And then the other stock, AKTX. If you see my lines here on the chart, we did start to get up over this 565 area, and it did move up in the after hours here, almost $1 on AKTX going into the close. So these two will be on watch, ACB and AKTX. Both of those will be on watch for tomorrow again. ATVI is turning the corner here, starting to move up. We had a high today on this name at 43.95, so maybe 44.25 for ATVI. On this one, so watch that 44 break on ATVI Activation Blizzard. AWX was perking up here today. We came up to about 340, I think it was 336 on AWX. So we'll see if this one wants to set up on an intraday chart for tomorrow on AWX. BIOC getting a little bit of a turn here. So I'll have this one on watch. Has this $1.25, $1.27 area in the way on BIOC. BPMC, another biotech name, has been holding up very well, holding above the 5 EMA. The high today on this name was 85.87, so maybe over that 86.15 area for BPMC on that one. CLNE. Had a nice day today. Look at this expanding volume in clean energy fuels. Has that $3 number up ahead, so keep an eye on that one, CLNE. DCAR will be on watch because this HYRE has been moving up pretty steady. So we'll be watching DCAR and also HYRE, both connected with the Lyft IPO, so we'll keep those both on watch. Other names we'll be watching, DFFN was moving up today. Here's the daily chart on it. We got as high as 6 and change, 650. We pulled back from that a little bit, so we'll see if this DFFN wants to set up on the intraday chart tomorrow. Volume 1.5 million shares. You see it's been as high as $11 on the daily chart, and that was recent action. It also did a 1 for 15 reverse split back in December, so we'll have this DFFN on watch. Electronic Arts is starting to shape up the daily chart here. If it can get up over this 101.15, 101.20 area for Electronic Arts, keep that one on watch. Holding above the fast moving averages, holding above the 50. We still have a declining 200 SMA here, so watching this one for maybe a couple of day trade in EA. HEAR has earnings coming up. Maybe shorts get nervous tomorrow on HEAR. Has that 1650 number up ahead. So let's see, we closed at 1603 here in the after hours. So we'll say maybe over 16 and a quarter for HEAR, could possibly get moving. KNDI has been holding up well, holding the 20 SMA, the red line, the moving average you see here, getting back over the 10 SMA. It's not the easiest stock to trade in intraday trading, but I'll be watching KNDI. NEO finally turned. I've been talking about it on the video for the last couple of days. Let's see if we can get back over the highs here today. 677, so maybe 680 gets this one moving again on NEO. NOG, small little energy stock, had 7.4 million shares come into the name today. Watch this one over the highs of today. The high was 253, so maybe over that 260 area for NOG. NVIDIA looks interesting if it can get back over the 170 spot on NVIDIA, maybe that 170.25 25 spot for NVDA. Square holding up well. I'll be watching Square tomorrow during the intraday play. SYMC had call activity in this name. Has the $23 area up ahead. The highs today 23.08, maybe 23.15 clears it out of this area here. So keep an eye on that one. TLGT, a smaller name, big expanding volume, came up past that $1.50. It got up to the 50 SMA and pulled back. 157 was the 50 SMA. But keep an eye on this TLGT. Might want to do something tomorrow. VVPR made a big move the other day. Then it had an inside day that came out. We're holding around that $2 level. So I'll watch this one intraday tomorrow. Wing is holding up very well. Kind of breaking out of this triangle here on a wing and coming out of this consolidation, has that big $70 number up ahead, WING restaurants. So keep an eye on this one. Maybe it can break out and push up over that $70 area. XLRN, biotech name, holding up okay. Trying to get up over the 200 SMA. The high on this name was 46.92, so maybe 47.15 is enough to get this XLRN to push up through the 200 SMA and maybe give us a continuation move for a possible swing trade in XLRN. All right. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. That's your trading watch list for tomorrow.